Sports bettors, Dusty here from Dusty's Daily Doubles. This is my first sports pick video that I've done thus far, but it's also going to be the first of many. It's the start of a new venture that I hope to have with you guys. A little bit of information on me. I've been sports betting for about 15 years now. I have a vast knowledge in most professional and collegiate sports. I will be providing free daily picks in all sports, mostly in the form of doubles, but feel free to take my picks and alter them and make them your own. Do whatever you want with them. If you find any of my information or picks valuable or useful, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And also add comments and opinions on your own games. We can build our own sports betting community here on my channel. It's time to start making the smart bets and start breaking the books together. Now let's look at the plays I have for today, January 21st, 2022. First up, we got Toledo at Ohio. And this game takes place at 6 p.m. Eastern Time in the MAC Conference in NCAA basketball. Now, this matchup is super interesting. It's very, very even on paper. They have similar stats all around, including both teams in the top 75 in the nation in offensive efficiency. We have both teams that are awfully close in free throw percentage, give or take a percent. But Toledo has a massive advantage on the boards, and this to me is one of the things that I always look for in college basketball specifically. Advantage on the boards. More boards equals more possession equals more shots. I mean, it's that simple. Even though the Rockets are only 500 on the road with a 4-4 record, they're on a hot 5-game winning streak right now. And in those 5 games, in that winning streak, they've scored at least 75 points on each opponent. And that includes 3 of those 5 games on the road, which they are tonight in Ohio. And even though this game is super close on paper, I'm going to have to go with the hot hand here, the hotter team, and I'm going to buy a few points as well. The line is at 4.5. I'm going to buy 3.5 points up to 8. Yeah, especially given the fact that Toledo has that revenge factor coming in after losing to Ohio last year in the MAC semifinals, I think they're going to be a little more gung-ho here. And honestly, I was originally looking at taking Ohio on the money line, but given the fact that these teams are so close, and I feel like it's going to be a close game, I'm going to have to take the points and even buy a couple points because, like I said, I could totally see Toledo Rockets here not only covering but possibly winning outright. So I'm going to buy a couple points and I'm going to lay that at +8, which would give you, I think, -200. Yeah, I can't see Toledo losing by more than 8. I just can't see it. All right, next up, we have an Australian Open matchup in men's singles. We have Roberto Bautista Agut taking on the American Taylor Fritz. Now, this is a very interesting matchup as well. However, if you look at just the head-to-head matchup between the two of them, it's very lopsided heading towards Bautista Agut. He has won 5 of their 6 head-to-head matchups, so he's leading 5-1 in that category. And if you wanted to go even further than that, he's actually winning 12 sets to 2 in those 6 games, which is super, super lopsided. Definitely, if you're looking at just that, I mean, it seems pretty obvious to take Bautista Agut. However, having said that, Fritz at the moment is playing the tennis of his lifetime. If you've been paying attention in the last year, Fritz is on an absolute tear and has blasted his way through the world rankings, and he is now ranked at number 22. So, I mean, in this matchup, I don't feel like Batista Agut is getting the same opponent that he's been used to in those last 6 matchups, because Agut on the one hand is sort of on the back end of his career, and Fritz is an up-and-comer, and he is, like I said, just on an absolute tear. So at this point, I kind of feel like you can kind of ignore those stats, and I generally don't like to ignore head-to-head matchup stats, but it doesn't seem very indicative of how the two players are playing at the moment. Oh yeah, on Fritz's way to becoming number 22 in the world in the last year, he's beat players like Zverev, Rublev, Berrettini, and Sinner. Simply put, it's not the same Fritz that Agut is used to. I feel like Fritz this year, specifically since the starting of January, has been far more patient and way more likely to be able to outlast the long, boring rallies that Batista Agut is used to putting on his opponents. So for that reason, I am going to take Fritz here in a 4 or 5 setter at, I believe it's almost 2-1 on your money. So those are my 2 daily picks. You can parlay them together, or you can bet them separately. Either way, it's up to you. I also have some bonus picks that I'm just going to say out here. I'm not going to give you any lowdown on that. I happen to like the Memphis Grizzlies plus 3.5 on the road tonight in Dallas. I think Memphis has just been playing far better than Dallas. They're actually not a bad road team. I believe they're 14-7 on the road, which is fantastic. Ja Morant is just unbelievable, playing out of worldly at the moment. And another thing is that Memphis has a lot of advantage on the boards. It's funny because Jokovic, but yeah, I like Memphis to win. Not only cover the 3.5, I like Memphis to win outright. Another bonus pick that I have for you guys today. This is a tough one. We got a tough matchup between the Michigan State Spartans visiting the Wisconsin Badgers. I mean, Michigan State coming off that tough loss. They lost to Northwestern. And let's be honest, they didn't seem like they had it right out of the gate. Surprising loss, but, every dog has its day. And today in Wisconsin, I know a lot of people want to jump on the MSU train and say, hey, Tom Izzo, he's not going to let them lose 2 in a row. But going into Wisconsin and playing that Badger team at home is no easy task. And although I do see MSU putting up a much better performance than last game against Northwestern, I'm going to still have to lean on the home team here and take Wisconsin on the money line. So those are my 2 bonus picks.